Hello and welcome. Joining me today is Group Captain Johnson Chacko, a seasoned military veteran and a former fighter pilot. Group Captain Chacko, thank you very much for joining us on Republic TV.
Thank you very much, Pranam.
Sir, to begin with, the Jaguar crash that happened last week, the tragic incident that took place, we want to understand from you, sir, why are these incidents happening, particularly with Jaguars?
See, incidents or accidents in the Air Force are bound to happen over a period of time. Now, generally, when every aircraft reaches a particular stage in the product life cycle where things start to go wrong because of various factors. It could be technical errors, it could be human failures, it could be maintenance issues, it could be many other factors, weather, etc. But material failures are there. So everything ages. So if you take any product cycle, it goes up steeply to a particular point where the performance plateaus and then it starts coming down. So whether it is the MiG-21, Jaguar, Canberra is an aircraft that I flew earlier, and Jaguar replaced Canberras in '78. Now that is a quite long time that the Jaguars have been in service. They're doing a wonderful job. They're excellent machines. But with age and with the end of the product life cycle, things are bound to change. And to replace the Jaguar or the deep penetration strike role, as it is known, now we are getting other aircraft which can do standoff weapons and reach the same effect. But Jaguars are still useful and they have to go up to the end of their life.
Right, sir.
Especially so when the squadron strength in the Air Force, which Mr. JRD Tata Committee had recommended at 63 squadrons, and thereafter 42 were raised, and even from 42 now it has come down to 31. Right. So we have never reached the level that it was intended. Though the JRD committee report was accepted, it was not published, and gradually we were building up at one stage. And now we have gone down to 31 squadrons. So it is essential that we have the numbers too. So even if it is an older aeroplane, we consider that as an offensive weapon. Like the Canberras were before the Jaguars came in, even though they had reached their end of product life cycle. So the air headquarters at the higher level, they have to decide as to when to phase out the Jaguars. Do we have adequate numbers to do what they were intended to do? Otherwise, we will have a whole big gap in the Air Force and we will not be able to do effective air defense of the country.
So what do you think, what are those aircraft that will be replacing the Jaguars? I mean, if we have to induct aircraft from bottom so that the top ones get replaced, which are those aircraft that we're looking at right now?
As of now, see, the role of a dedicated bomber would actually replace the Jaguar, but it's a too expensive a weapon system to induct, especially in our scenario, because other aircraft can do or deliver the same effect as what the Jaguar can deliver. Probably more advanced Su-30 or any of these multi-role fighters can do the same job. Rafale, Su-30, any multi-role aircraft will be able to do the job of the Jaguar, though they are not specialized for deep penetration strike, because the deep penetration strike role itself is in question after we have achieved tremendous success in Op Sindoor, where without any penetration, in the sense that we were in our own within our own borders, and we have been able to inflict such damage to the Pakistan Air Force.
Right.
We have to take a balanced view as to what will replace the role of the Jaguar. Aircraft by itself is not important. The role is attacking targets precisely in enemy territory. And if that can be achieved by BrahMos, air-launched BrahMos, or the missiles on the Scalp missiles on the Rafales, probably we may not need a replacement for the Jaguar.
Okay. But then, sir, I mean, we're talking about India's economic prowess. Our defense budgets have been increasing year on year. What is the reason behind not being able to replace the aging fleet, such as the Jaguars?
See, as technology advances, we don't have to go by the previous doctrines of having a dedicated aircraft like the bomber. Canberra was a bomber. Similarly, Jaguar is a deep penetration strike aircraft. So, bomber has evolved to a deep penetration strike role with electronic warfare protection, etc., etc. And now, if other aircraft, multi-role aircraft, can deliver the same effect as a Jaguar, then we may not look for an aircraft dedicated for that particular role because technology has evolved. There is
Okay.
nothing else.
Okay. So I mean, one of the important aspects that is associated with such crashes is the human element. I mean, this is not a death that has happened in the face of the enemy. How do you think can this loss that is happening to the Air Force be saved when we are operating an aircraft like the Jaguar?
I don't think it has been determined that it is because of human error that this accident took place.
Okay.
Human error will take place because of various factors, because human beings are not exactly the same.
Right.
So there is an ancient dictum to err is human and blah blah blah. But
Right.
I might say, if you want to prevent human error accidents, it will be to err is human, so be inhuman.
Okay.
Not right.
No, I didn't mean the human error, sir. I mean, we are flying obsolete aircraft. Isn't that the case?
No, not really. I have flown the Canberra, which is older than me.
Okay.
So there are nothing obsolete in any aeroplane.
Okay.
It's only the license plate which cannot be changed. If you get the spares, if you get everything else, the aircraft is as good as new.
So you mean the Jaguars are absolutely airworthy and operable?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Unless there is a space crunch and you're not able to support with the space, then the aircraft doesn't fly.
Okay.
So reach a particular stage where the Air Force calculates serviceability rate online. How many aircraft are offered online on a daily basis? There are a lot of calculations which go into it before we decide that the aircraft has become obsolete.
Okay.
The MiG-25, we had to retire the MiG-25 because we were not getting spares because the Soviet Union broke up
Right.
and we actually didn't know where the spares were coming from.
Okay. So if I have to ask you a common man's question as to when do you think or how much should be the life of a fighter jet, the kind of caliber that a Jaguar has?
I don't think you can put a number on that. No, it need not be. There won't be a specific number to the life of an aircraft
Okay.
because there are various roles in which it can be used subsequently, even if it comes out of the deep penetration strike role.
Right, sir.
Like the hunters were once used for target towing. Why? Because their role was considered obsolete, or other technologically advanced aircraft had taken over their role.
Okay.
Even the Canberra was used for target towing, that is, towing a target for other aircraft to practice air-to-air gunnery or whatever.
Okay.
So every aircraft goes through certain phases, and when it becomes absolutely useless, that means it does not gel with the contemporary doctrine or whatever the Air Force intends to do. That is one way of saying that this aircraft has become obsolete. Like we cannot use a Spitfire now.
Right.
Similarly, so those aircraft have become obsolete, technologically overtaken. And of course, I told you the other reasons where spares are not available or the supply chain is not okay. So, if we have an indigenous supply chain like what we are planning for the LCA, then I don't think this problem will be there of spares not being available.
Okay.
Maybe role obsolescence will take place.
Okay.
And typically, an Air Force has about 30% of extremely advanced fighter aircraft. About 40% is in the medium range, where they can still be used for actual operations in a very effective manner.
Okay.
and 30% are nearing obsolescence. I would put it that way.
Okay.
So this percentages normally continue over a period of time. So you have a balanced air force,
Okay.
and the nation gets the bang for the buck. If
Right.
they have spent so many crores to buy the Jaguar, it is not right to discard it yet.
Okay. The squadron strength, as you rightly pointed out, sir, from 63 to 42, and from 42 we right now, I mean, that's the desired strength, and what we are sitting at is 31. Do you see sometime in near future when the strength would be as per the desired number?
See, 63 was what was proposed by the JRD committee,
Right.
JRD committee. 42 is where we went up to.
Right.
How much was the government's intentions to go up to, whether it was 42, 52, 53, or any other number, we don't know. At least I don't know. And from 42, see, when a squadron is inducted or aeroplanes are bought, and we say that this squadron is commissioned or not commissioned, is very much in use, then the squadron gets a number, like 32 squadron or 102 squadron or 35 squadron or whatever. So those numbers reached 42 squadrons. So thereafter, when the aircraft obsolescence took place, one by one, these squadrons became number plated.
Right, sir.
Number plated means only the number remains.
Yes.
There's nothing else.
Right, sir.
So it can be revived at any future time. And a number plated squadron, along with the current squadrons, is generally taken as the strength which the Air Force has, not Air Force is supposed to have, in the sense that you could have aiming at 63, we could be a 50 squadron Air Force. Now, the number of squadrons and the number of aircraft that we have depends upon, again, technology. How many rolls can be rolled into one aircraft, or how many numbers you need. For example, in Operation Sindoor, there were 70 aircraft airborne from Pakistan's side,
Right.
and we had 80 airborne from our side. So you're fighting a massive air war. 70 and 80, 150 aircraft battle. Now, if you have to put up 80 aircraft, you must have that many numbers available. And assuming that the serviceability, best serviceability that was at about 85%, so you can see the numbers that we need to have.
Okay.
So in today's airborne battle.
Okay.
So we have to consider all these factors before deciding as to how much is enough. 31 is definitely too low.
Right.
And I feel, that is my feeling, and we need to definitely enhance it to a larger number.
Okay.
Because the future combat will be like the one what you saw in Op Sindoor. So if you need to have 80 aircraft airborne, then we should have at least 100 aircraft available in those areas. In the areas all around, that is, we are looking for a two-front war, the numbers shoot up in the sense that you need adequate in the east also. So such similar combat would take place there too. So we cannot ignore that.
So do you see that happening, sir? Do you see the numbers getting, buoyed up or increasing the numbers? Do you see that happening?
It should happen provided we have the adequate resources to do it. As you know, India is propelling itself towards the 5 trillion economy. So the economic strength comes up, and if we have sufficient money to spare, then definitely it will come up. But 31 to 42 is imperative. It is required in a hurry. So it entirely depends upon our GDP and various other factors as to how much is the wealth that we can spare to induct more aircraft, either from indigenously or indigenous aircraft. If they are taking too long, then we need to import aircraft. So we cannot leave that as a blank.
Okay.
We need to fill up the numbers.
Okay.
So it is not that we don't want to, we have to actually do that job of getting more aeroplanes in the air force.
So if I have to really ask you as a seasoned fighter pilot, if I really look at the product life cycle of a Jaguar, how many years do you think are there in store for this before we say that it's at the end of its product life cycle?
I won't be able to put a number to that
Okay.
because it entirely depends upon the design of the aircraft, the number of flying hours left.
Okay.
See, when these aeroplanes are under stress, the center section of the aeroplane starts cracking in the sense that that is the main thing which holds the wings, tail, and everything else. That is known as the center section forging. If there are cracks in that, even those cracks are addressed over a period of time, and then finally, when they say that this center section is absolutely useless, then they say, okay, this aircraft down. So it doesn't take place in a hurry that all of a sudden you find that all the Jaguars are grounded or all the Jaguars are retired. So it is a gradual phase like what happened in the MiG-21s. They were, say, suppose we had 200 MiG-21s over a period of time because of the stress the aircraft undergoes, say 20 have become beyond economical repair. That is what we call BER. So when it becomes BER, then the airframe is taken offline and all the parts from that are removed, and we call those parts as that come out of a Christmas tree because the aircraft is standing. So some of the part becomes unserviceable. You go there and pick up this part from that aeroplane, test it out fully, and then fit it on the other one, and then it starts flying again. So we try to do that over a long. We have to do it over a long period of time. Mainly because resources are not there to get those spares immediately.
But sir, my question is, I mean, you mentioned MiG-21. MiG-21 actually came to be known as flying coffin once upon a time. I mean, how many lives will really have to be claimed before an aircraft, or how many accidents really have to happen before you realize that, okay, now this is not an airworthy machine?
See, when the aircraft reaches the end of its product life cycle, every aircraft is known as a flying coffin, not only the MiG-21.
Okay. And you think Jaguar is not that yet?
No, there's no way there. It's very much alive, and
Okay.
it is strong enough to continue.
Okay.
We had the packets once upon a time, these American aircraft.
Okay.
So they were crashes and they were old aircraft, and they used to start calling the packet as a flying coffin.
Okay.
So that it gets attached towards the end of the product life cycle.
All right, sir. Thank you very much for giving us insights into this. We'll keep coming back to you for guidance on matters related to the Air Force. Thank you very much for giving us your time, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.